After the War of 1812, the New England textile industry suffered a decline in business, causing several New England mill operators to look for better opportunities down south. With the abundance and ease of access to raw materials, cheap labor, lower taxes, and cheap property, South Carolina became home to many of these northern transplants and their industrial know-how. Thanks to the vision of men like James Bivens, Barty McBee, Dexter Edgar Converse, and the Millikens, the upstate became a powerhouse for the manufacturing of textile goods, and Spartanburg County became home to some of the most iconic of these mills. Many would say that Spartanburg, South Carolina owes its existence to the introduction of the cotton mill, and they would be partially correct. Because of Spartanburg's location along some of the rivers and creeks dumping out from the western North Carolina mountains, makes Spartanburg County an ideal place to build cotton mills. The earliest version of these plants required the mechanical power that was produced by water wheels placed in the fast-moving waters, or they needed the constant supply of water to be pumped in to supply steam engines, which created the mechanical processes that ran the plant. These plants supplied all aspects of the workers' lives, from homes built around the mills, known as mill villages, everyday living supplies provided by the small mill stores, and the workers' livelihood by working at the mill. Some mills even built churches and public gathering venues for their workers to enjoy and worship when not at the mill. In the mid-1800s, Spartanburg looked much different than it does now. What would take some just minutes to get from one location to the next today would have taken hours to travel back then. This is a fascinating tale of hard work, perseverance, and the all-around struggle to create the story of the Spartanburg County Mills. On this episode of Spartanburg History, we'll be covering the first of the 4 local mills. The first being Glendale Mills, also known as Bivensville Manufacturing Plant. The next will be Clifton Mills, also known as Converse Mill. Then we'll cover Beaumont Mills and the Milliken Company. These companies paved the way for industry in this part of the upstate South Carolina, and in some ways still affect the local economy and the skyline today. Join us as we dig a little deeper into the history, people, and current impact of these iconic fixtures. Our journey begins on the banks of Lawson's Fork Creek. The abundance of this much-needed resource made this location ideal for a textile mill. Keep in mind that electricity wasn't readily available, and most of the mechanical power for the plant was created by using a large water wheel. In 1832, James Bivens built the Bivensville Cotton Factory, and, although there were others that had tried to start mills in the area, Mr. Bivens' mill is considered the first enduring textile operation in the area. He was also the first one to build the community surrounding the plant to serve the employees. These communities are known as mill villages, and were in essence a fully functional town, complete with stores, churches, and in some instances law enforcement, as seen here in this picture from Bivensville. Mr. Bivens would later sell the mill to Edgar Converse, who would expand and modernize the mill, and his wife would rename the community Glendale, for which it is known today. Today, all that remains of the once magnificent mill are these 2 towers and a smokestack. The mill ceased operation in 1961, and after being sold several more times was destroyed in a devastating fire in 2004. However, the story doesn't end there. In 2010, the property was designated a natural preserve, and many hours of tireless work have transformed this area into one of the natural jewels of Spartanburg County. With walking trails, picnic areas, and other activities, Glendale Shoals has become a hotspot for outdoor fun and adventure. It's also the home to Wofford College's Goodall Environmental Studies Center, located in the old Glendale Mills office building, where students get a hands-on education on the environment.